I see all good people. Good morning. Sometimes I wake up and I'm not sure what I'm doing. I think probably all of us feel the same way. Even though we have ideals of what we would like to accomplish, we find ourselves vacillating back and forth with other opportunities or other obligations, responsibilities, or other desires we feel ourselves being pressed by. And of course, this is natural because we are a multitasking creature. And what do? What is a solution for this? Prioritize what we want to accomplish. Just doing it. Just doing what you know is what you have already analyzed and determined as being your priority. Then, after you've just done what you feel you need to do, in this instance to practice one's mindfulness technique, then if you're not sure, then it's nothing wrong with revalidating what you've just accomplished. Was it worth the effort and one's precious time? The important thing here is twofold. One, to listen to yourself and do the things most important to you. And then secondly, to be flexible and adaptive, because everything is changing. Today, maybe it's impossible to do what you want to do first thing. Maybe there's something specific that's more important in these moments that one needs to accomplish. Just do it is a great way to communicate with oneself, to take away the vacillation and say, let's just get this accomplished. The reason I do it is there's a greater purpose to this. In the instance of practice and mindfulness, there is nothing more important than being mindful. In being clear and having a sense of clarity that helps you accomplish what other tasks you or other responsibilities you have before yourself. Getting this done before you tackle these other things is always good advice. Just do it. I don't know if you've ever heard of the 2-minute rule. The 2-minute rule is if there is something you are looking at to do, and it's another task of the many tasks we all share, if you can get it done in 2 minutes, to do it. Then you don't have to care about this for the rest of one's day or have in one's mind. That's the 2-minute rule in a nutshell. If you're thinking about putting the dishes away after having had them dry all night, or if they're in the dishwasher, putting them where they belong. The 2-minute rule would say, when you think of it, just accomplish your task. Just get it done. And it's a nice rule to follow. What do we want to use today to center ourselves? I let you choose. Do you want to use your pulse? To use your breath? The energy, the shimmering inside and out of your body? What is it today that is coming into one's mind? Perhaps it's the feeling of gravity upon one's skin, the pressing down upon one's body into the seat that you've assumed, or laying down in whatever side you are on, or your back, if you're standing your feet. And gently swaying whichever posture you've taken around in a circle. Not a big circle, a little circle. And then going the other way. And here we are already not taking for granted our physicality, but utilizing what we have been born with, this capacity to move. Really, we are bundles of miracles in a world where we have a great deal of freedom, opportunity, and potential to accomplish and to aspire towards goals of many, many kinds. And not only aspire, but having an opportunity to reach them. We are very fortunate. Let's think about our breathing for a moment. All right, can we come to a consensus on this? Breathing. Breathing occurs around 15 to 20,000 times a day. So it's something that is a second nature to ourselves and something that we take for granted because it's happening so often. It's just like our heartbeat. It happens so often that our heart squeezes its oxygenated blood through our vascular system. We take it for granted. But we're not taking it for granted. We're using it as a tool. We're using it as a means to find a focus and concentration to help us cast aside or allow to fade away other thoughts that we might be having, to put them off until we finish what we're setting ourselves out to accomplish now. Being aware of our breath. Breathing through our nostrils. Feeling the air as it enters one's nostrils. Determining if it's warm or cool, or maybe doesn't have any sense of temperature to it. Feeling it as it reaches the back of one's nasal cavities, as it makes its way down into the back of one's mouth, and from there into one's windpipes. Of course, don't forget it's passing your vocal cords, and down into the upper and then the lower lobes of each of our lungs. Being aware. And as we exhale, reversing this and bringing this air back outside of our bodies, first from our lobes of our lungs, up through our windpipe, past our larynx, our voice box, up into the rear of our mouths, into our nasal cavities, and then out our nose. A complete breath. And yet, that's only one picture of our breathing, yes? What else is going on when we're breathing? We're breathing in 4 parts and 4 components of our breath. We initially have an inhale. Think about this as you're breathing now. You breathe in, long and slow is what we recommend. And there comes a time when one is satiated and doesn't need to take any more air into our lungs. And so we pause. That's the second part. And then after our pause, there comes a time when our body says to us, well, it's about time that we exhale now. So then we begin our process of exhaling. And we do this until we're satiated again. And when we're satiated, we pause a second time. So 4 parts in a breath. And then we begin this process all over again. We breathe in, etc. This is another way of looking at our breathing technique. And when we fill our minds with these different aspects of what we're doing, it alleviates everything else that was probably previously on our mind, unless it's really strong and powerful. And we'll get to that. And yet, let's think one more thing what we can think about our breathing. Where is our breathing of oxygenated air coming from? Well, it's coming from our atmosphere, as we all know that. But how often do we think about where our air is coming from? Where is the air that you're breathing right now? Where was it an hour ago? Was it more or less in the same place that you're in right now? Or possibly is there a gentle breeze or a medium breeze or a bigger breeze? And so the air was farther and farther away from where you are right now? Where was the air a week ago? Do we think about these things very often? No. So it's a good tool. Again, It's part of our resources of tools to think in this way, because we're taking up our mental capacity and thinking about something fundamental to our lives, because we have to breathe. Where was the air that you're breathing right now a month ago? Well, that's a whole nother story, right? Because the air is moving around 24 hours a day. It may have been a month ago. It may have been, who knows, anywhere. Maybe it's coming out of the jet stream that's traveling at hundreds of miles an hour over our heads all the time. Or maybe it was crossing the ocean. Or maybe it was crossing the continent that you're on. So it's never a far stretch to consider how lucky we are. How the world is as miraculous as you and I. Thinking about these things. And one can read books and pamphlets and articles and listen to speeches and conversations about breathing from all kinds and all sorts of different directions, different authors who will share what their conceptualization of breathing is all about. So breathing is kind of a great thing to consider. And again, we can do many things or not, but breathing, we need to breathe all the time. And thinking about our pulse, similarly to our breathing, it's occurring all the time, and we tend to take it for granted. But when we think about it, our heart muscle squeezes the blood in our body through our vascular veins and arteries around 90,000 times a day. That in itself is amazing, just thinking about this. We want to talk about priorities, right? Just do it. These muscles just do it. They just do it. Why do they just do it? Because they're a product of evolution, where the difference between doing it and not doing it meant life or death. And if it didn't do it enough, the body in which this heart that was taking an easier way succumbed, died. Its progeny was never occurred, never had children, never had generations passed on. Evolution has helped form both our breathing and our pulsing. And so we pulse, being aware of our pulsing. What's going on? Where do we feel our pulsing today? Right now. Do you feel it in your toes? Do you feel it in your nose? Do you feel your heart? Do you feel it behind your eyes? In your cheeks? Do you feel it everywhere? Do you feel your whole body undulating with the pressure of the squeezing of your heart, pressing blood through your arteries and veins? Feeling. Being aware. Being kind and gracious to oneself. Understanding. Compassionate. Taking nothing for granted. Managing one's own consciousness the best that one may. And being nice about it. Being kind when one finds themselves being forgetful. We're multitaskers by nature. It's evolution in its own way. It's playing with us in this way. 100,000 years ago, we had to be quick and agile and thinking and multitasking all the time just to stay alive. I leave you with these thoughts because time is quickly passing, I can see. The music's going to continue for around another minute. And I wish you the very best of day. Being aware. Being mindful. Namaste.